Oftentimes you get in conversations with people and they quickly want to let you know how much they know. And that is not Bob Trice. Bob is patient. He asks more questions than he answers. But the other things I think about when I think of Bob relate far more to collaboration, generosity, and cooperation.
Well, the best description for Bob is all have to do with the qualities of his thinking. He's judicious and he's intelligent, but also he's kind. He's a real gentleman, and he's just pleasant to be around.
He has this quiet, unassuming character and graceful way that is both appreciated and effective. And I consider him to be a mentor, not only for those reasons, but also the fact that he's a model of integrity.
Bob went to graduate school to get a PhD studying political science, U.S. foreign policy, and international relations at the University of Wisconsin. And he was very successful. And he was hired by a top 10 political science program, Ohio State. And he was an assistant professor working on arms transfers and U.S. foreign policy and national security policy when he got a call. His country asked him to come and serve in the Defense Department. He served, I think, 3 or 4 years in the Department of Defense, and then he shifted over from the executive branch to the legislative branch, where he served in the Senate on Capitol Hill. So he's seen the academic side of IR, the executive branch, and the legislative branch. And after a successful career as a policy practitioner, he went into the private sector. I think Bob is most well known for his work in the defense industry.
I've known Bob since the mid-90s when I came to work at Lockheed Martin. To work with him was to work with a real pro, and a man who functioned at a very high level as an intellect, as a businessman. Even though it wasn't his job as an ethicist, he was always very ethical in the way he wanted to proceed. And it's just a wonderful example to pattern yourself after as a business person.
I think Bob has a passion for the sustainability of the planet. Bob's been with the Nature Conservancy for 15 years or more, and that whole time he has served on our board. Bob is very committed to helping others. I know he's provided donations not only to the Nature Conservancy, but also to a group called ANERA, who provides refugee assistance and aid.
One of the motives for Bob has to be the continued internationalization of William & Mary. Bob and Susan have made gifts to William & Mary that will support international programs and student faculty research programs for all time coming. But in addition to the generous support they've offered to the Public Policy Program and the Global Research Institute, Bob has also gotten down in the trenches and has worked directly with faculty and with students on research projects. He's visited classes. He's continued to teach, even though his career as an academic ended long ago.
I think any institution would be proud to have an alumnus like Bob, to have that person recognized as an alumnus and held up as an example for a William & Mary education can help launch.
Bob, you know that I've always been very fond of you, and you have both enriched my life personally, but also professionally through your service with the Nature Conservancy. So I just wanted to sincerely congratulate you for receiving this prestigious alumni award from William & Mary. Congratulations, it's so well deserved, and look forward to celebrating with you.
Congratulations, Bob. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this honor. Thanks for all that you do for William & Mary.
I want to congratulate you on this very distinguished award. I know it means a lot to you because William & Mary means a great deal to you. And you mean a great deal to me. You've been a friend, you've been a boss, you've been a colleague, you've been a confidant, you've been an advisor, and you've excelled in all those roles. And I hope that you enjoy this distinction because, in my humble opinion, you richly deserve it. Congratulations, old friend.